Okay, hello everybody. Hello, hello. Ay, 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 ay. One problem after another problem. Okay, live chat, live chat. Okay. Hello, 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 hello. I turned the computer off. Can you hear this? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Lewis Schaffer, Tuesday. Okay. Stream 133. Okay. Is this the one, or is it this is not the one? This says Monday. Hold on, I'm gonna check. I turned the thing off. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. Tuesday. Hold on a second. Tuesday. Not you can't hold on. You just I'm just doing something else. Tuesday the 22nd of October. Okay. What date is this? 133rd. Okay. Save, and then let's get an image up. Your video, copyright clips. Okay. Oh, and I know better now. I know better now. Giving it all away. And that's not the right picture there. Anyway, thank you for coming back. That was my fault. This is part two. This is part two. We got 16 people watching on the thing. I gotta get that. I gotta get that picture up there. See if I can get the picture up there. What happened is in order for me to get this microphone to work, hold on one second, let me make sure you can see me. In order to get this microphone to work, the semi-expensive one, I paid 75 pounds for 20, 20 second, right? Okay, thank you, Kermit. I appreciate that. In order for me to get the microphone working, 21st, I, I have to start with the microphone working. And I didn't check it beforehand. There's no way for me to check it. So I hadn't plugged it in. So I plugged it in after it started. And let me see if it's working now. I have to check to see if it's working. To see if it's working. To see if it's working. I've got to check. I've got to check to see if it's working. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. This is why I'll never be a success. I will never be day after day of this horrible stuff happening. Day after day of this horrible thing happening. The 21st Tuesday. That's right. Kermit. I mean, I messed it up. Thank you, Gnome. Nice to see you. Ruben, nice to see you. Okay, we're getting back on track. Thank you. You know what? You know it's like I'm just like putting you for a test. I'm making sure you pay attention. You can't just put this thing on in the background and you know it's all going to be okay. You've got to listen. You know, at any moment it could end. And I thank you. I thank you for that. And now let me check to make sure that the audio capture thing is working. Default. Elgato. Okay, how is that? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you see me now? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you smell me? Now it's going to take. Now It's going to take a little bit for me to get back into a smooth place. But we're going to get into a smooth place. Okay. Thank you very much for coming back in. We've lost some people, but maybe everybody's going to come back eventually, or maybe they're just going to think, yeah, who needs this? Every single show is like this. What happened is down here where the buttons are, I don't know whether you need to see this, where the buttons are. Can you see? There's this wire. I put this wire in, which is the thing, and over here is the button to turn the thing off, and I turned it off by accident because it could have maybe done the other, because the camera, the Logitech has sound capabilities, and I don't have to use this one for my sound capabilities, but I like it because it looks like it's a something, and I have a feeling it sounds better. Yeah, it's complicated. It's not complicated. I pressed the button when I should have just pushed it like this, and I had my finger out and I pressed it, but I didn't get upset. I'm not upset right now. I'm a little bit upset, but I mean, and I was thinking yesterday, or maybe the day before, maybe every day, I think, okay, this is the last day something like this is going to happen. Marianne, it's Marianne's birthday. May all good fortunes bless you. Yes, happy birthday, Marianne. Yes. So we are in good shape right now. I think we're starting the show. This is the 133rd day, which is a lot of days to be doing this in a row without a break. That means Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's a lot of days. That mic is 150 pounds new, Lewis. It's worth using. Okay, well, I'm using it. I paid 75 pounds for it at CEX, the shop CEX, which is one of my favorite shops. I mean, I buy all my cameras there. I buy all my stuff there. Basically, because they test it out beforehand, and you can always return it. It's customer service. It's really good, CEX. So let's just hope CEX stays in business. They're not paying me to recommend them, but this is what I believe in. I believe in CEX. Who else shops at CEX? I got all my cameras here. I got 2 cameras exactly. I got all my cameras the same here. I think it's time for a new camera, but I got all my cameras. Not all my cameras, all my phones and all my cameras. So today's the 21st of October. Thank you, Kermit, for pointing that out, that I'd made a mistake. Of October 2025. Is it raining out where you are? Tell us, is it raining where you are? This is October, November, and December are the worst weather days. There's no optimism. It's getting darker and darker. Next week, they're going to do that daylight savings time. Okay? Gnome Hunter says, I've gotten countless of now antique PSP games from CEX. Really good shop in general, much better than the late Game. Okay, yeah, I didn't realize they competed with Game, because they've got all sorts of, I used to buy a few bits of computer games for my kids. Well, one of the kids, this kid, I didn't need to buy anything. He is not here. He is actually working, which is really good. Really, really good. Happy birthday, Marianne. Hi, all. I was feeling good. Now I'm hearing there is no optimism. Who says there's no optimism? I don't believe in optimism, but that doesn't mean there is no optimism. In the past, I've been very pessimistic, and then I've expressed that pessimism to people, and they'd look at me like I was like ridiculous. Now people look at me and they go, yeah, you're right. Maybe there's nothing to be optimistic about. It's still raining where I am in the southeast coast. I thought it's supposed to be super sunny down there, Claire. That's what I heard. That's the way I've been. I've been a bit pessimistic because I am a naturally pessimistic person. Is the glass half full? I would say the glass is half full, and it's got a crack. And then I'll throw the glass down on the ground to say, see, I don't have a glass at all. All caused by the globalists. There was misery before globalism, but yes, the globalists have caused misery in this country. And they have. And speaking of fat, disgusting globalist, Boris Johnson was speaking today. Yeah, Boris Johnson was speaking today. And he was, I don't know whether he was apologizing for something, but I couldn't watch him. He basically, anybody who uses the word, I'm going to say this right now to get it out of the way, infection. There's no such thing as an infection, as if one little bit of your little bit goes into somebody else's little bit, and the next thing you know, you're like dead. That's a complete and utter lie. A complete and utter lie. And that's why the COVID thing was like all a lie, because there was no germ. There was no vaccine that could cure the germ. There was no 6 feet separation that could prevent you from getting the germ. People get sick. They get sick from being, did they get sick from being close? Close. Lewis, it is known as the Sunshine Town here in Eastbourne, but not today. Yes, I knew that. See, I knew that. I'm okay with globalist trade, like world trade. I mean, trade is good. Trade is good, but not. We have to keep England, England. We have to fight for the Angles, the Saxons, the Jutes. 3-Eye Atlas didn't exist. It's a psyop. What exactly is 3-Eye Atlas? I should know this stuff. I'm learning everything. 3-Eye Atlas. What is that? I see you. I see you. I watched Boris, and he's trying to be relevant again. How could you trust that guy? How could you trust Tony Blair? How could you trust anybody from the past? We need somebody from today, Lewis Schaffer. Just going to say, they're all lying. They're all lying. Okay? You want to get sick? You're not going to worry about catching something. Look. That's in my mouth. Delicious. I told him that the real inquiry was by Rainer Fellmich and where he is in a German jail. Who is Rainer Fellmich? Fellmich. Hey, there's Don Aylesbury. So, Ron, tell us who that guy is, or should I look it up myself? I do think the germ, as you put it, was real, maybe some kind of gain of function, also fake. But the jab was the stuff of the devil. All right, so we're halfway there. I mean, the jab was just schmutz that they put in a vial to make people feel all tingly or kill them. That's why I won't take a vaccine. I'm not going to take a vaccine for polio, for measles, for anything. Okay, I know what you believe, Donna. There is no such thing. There's bacteria, but in order for you to die of a bacteria, you can't. It's not just having one little bacteria go into your cell and then it multiplies so quickly that it takes over your entire body and kills you. You need a lot of this stuff. You need Philadelphia smears of it inside your body. That's what Lewis Schaffer believes. And I you know what? You don't have to believe me. That's what's great about this. That's what's great about what we're doing here. You can say, Lewis, I think you're full of it. Anyone who believes that shit doesn't deserve what's coming to them, Gnome Hunter. I never believed in the scamdemic, never wore a mask, never stood on circles in the supermarket, Claire. Yeah, but you never walked in the wrong way around on purpose, rode on buses. It never affected my life at all. You think it never did, but it did, because it was like so quiet. You couldn't go outside without somebody screaming at you. It just looked like death. And, I wasn't completely red-pilled at that time, if that's the term you're going to use. So I never wore a mask. I have a couple of pictures of me in a mask. When I was making the films, I had to wear a mask. But it affected everybody. And you know what affected the most? My beautiful children. They couldn't go to school. They were like sitting at home. It was like horrible with their grumpy old father. It was horrible. I hope I spelled his name right. Part of a class action against the co-op PSYOP. What happened? Did they put him in jail for having a class action thing? Is that what they did, Ron Smith? Because of course they're upset about that. The whole money world, all those pharma and control things, they need people to be controlled. Like, look at what the Chinese people did. The Chinese government, not Chinese people, the Chinese Communist government. They're under the control of the Chinese government. Imagine if Hitler had stayed in power. That is what's going on in China. Lewis, it was quiet during this pandemic, but I went out every day. I ignored people being shouty. Yeah, but it was affecting. It can affect you. They were being shouty and screaming at each other. Nobody looked at each other in the face during this pandemic. My kids couldn't go to school. Who knows how it affected them? I mean, you don't know. I mean, my kid's 22 years old, but it was like during those high school years of loneliness. And was I good company? Probably I wasn't good company. I see you. The Gnome Hunter says anyone who believes that shit deserves what's coming to them. Yeah. Well, I mean, I do not believe it. If you want to know, I don't believe in masks. I don't believe in the actual germs that are floating around, let alone the masks that couldn't control these actual little tiny little things, infection. That concept is like never been proven. You look back at the Spanish flu, which is like COVID, but is that it happened at the exact same time? It couldn't have. They didn't have airplanes, and it was faster than the wind. It all started in the same place. But on the other hand, the chemtrails lately are epic. Barley, get to see the blue sky. Okay, let's read that again, Donna. But on the other hand, the chemtrails lately are epic. Barely, that's barley. Barley is a food. Barely get to see the blue sky anymore. Yeah, you look up in the sky and are they chemtrails? I don't know, but you know what I believe? I don't know if they're chemtrails. And if I thought that they were chemtrails, I would tell you that they are chemtrails. But they could be chemtrails because you can't believe them because they're lying people. Lying people. The globalists are lying people. Because they just want people to be afraid. That's what they want to do. March 24th, I still went around to the gym to see if it was open because I didn't know how seriously people were taking it. That's exactly true. That's totally true. And I got a cold, okay, right before they closed down everything, okay? And was that COVID? Then later on they said, oh, you had caught COVID. I mean, did I catch a cold? Probably I did, because people catch colds in the darkest times of the year. That's why I take vitamin D pills. That's why I'm going to start going soon. I go into New Cross Gate to get sun. So I'm with you. I am with you. Spanish flu was spread around Europe because of the soldiers going back to their countries and then spreading it further. Stuart, that's what they say. That's a lie, a lie, a lie, a lie. The reason why the soldiers got Spanish flu is because they were in war and they were exhausted, and exhausted people get sneezy and get sick. But if you Google, they actually did tests on soldiers, and they weren't spreading anything that they had. And it's not that they went around from place to place. That's that infection thing. They're we're getting infection. Rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. Sorry about that, Stuart. I wasn't upset with you. I love you, Stuart. Let's give Stuart a big round of applause for coming into our group here. Okay, Spanish flu. So it wasn't spread around Europe. And then you know what? It's supposed to have started in Kansas and went over to you know what? It this is what happens when people go to war. Their bodies break down, they're exhausted, and they get sick. And that's what happens in wintertime. They don't get enough sun. Their vitamin D levels are down. They're exhausted, and they get sick. Okay? I caught a cold. Exactly. I caught a cold. My ex-wife, let her live in peace. She caught a cold in November, like 3 months before, because that's when people catch colds. Called Spanish flu because Spain was a neutral country during World War II. Could have been that Spanish flu or Spanish fly. Is that a joke, Paul Manning? Yeah. So you think that in the early 1900s the governments had the technology to spread a fake illness? No, I don't believe it's a fake illness. I'm too excitable. I don't know. Some point in this show, I'm going to break. It's like the marathon dancers. I did not say that. No, I don't think it's a fake illness. I think people can get sick. They can actually get sick. But what are they getting sick with? Why was there zero flu in 2020? Why was there zero flu? Because it's just getting sick. It's all one disease. So I'll read what you said again. So you think that in the early 1900s, governments had the technology to spread a fake illness instead of a perfectly logical explanation presented. It wasn't perfectly logical. It wasn't. The idea that little tiny little specks of stuff gets into your system and makes you... That is not perfectly logical. That is a religious ideology. That's what they want you to believe. They're spreading fear that you can't see something, that there's illness all around, that other people make us sick. They want us to be afraid of other people, whether they did this deliberately or not. So I didn't mean to yell at you, Gnome Hunter, because you're young and you're beautiful. But so I don't believe it's a fake illness. I think people got ill. I think people got sick. I think people died. Okay? I think people getting sick, well, just like they get sick from the flu, which happened the year before. They got sick from the flu. I remember when I was young, I said, what's the difference between a flu and a cold? They say, well, they couldn't tell you. What is the difference between the flu and a cold? What's the difference between COVID, a flu, and a cold? They can't tell you. I do think there is no such thing as a flu season. It's just people don't give their body the right nutrition to prevent the illness. I would say I disagree with you because there is a flu season because across the world, in areas that don't get a lot of sun, the flu season is in the wintertime. Mark Therosian. That's when there is a flu season. I'll show you the chart if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. If I can find pictures of Lewis Schaffer. Google Photos. I'm gonna have to open this. Please don't. Can you see the photos? Can you see? Let's see what it is. Let's go to print albums. There's me kissing. Can you see any of this stuff? No, I hope you can't. There's that and that. Food, bells, tests, COVID, Instagram, slippers, PG, screenshots. No. This is tests. Could be under tests. Let me see if it's here. I know what it looks like. Don't. This is all my blood pressure stuff. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see my blood pressure. Do you want to see my blood pressure? And then other tests, and me getting my blood tests, and me getting other tests. It's not here now. It might be. Let's see where it would be. It's not in tests. eBay, food, tests too. Could be here. No, it's not here. We're going back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm continuing to talk. I'm continuing to talk. More tests. More tests. Food, me kissing a girl, or a girl kissing me. Why not? Why can't I kiss a girl? Why can't I kiss a girl? Because I'm not gay. I'm not gay. I'm not gay. I'm not gay. And then all sorts of, I don't know where this thing went. Where did it go? Where did it go? Maybe it's under Twitter. It could have been under Twitter. I'm gonna look over here. Are you guys okay? Was that really dull? Was that dull that I wasn't paying attention to you? I take vitamin D3. Yes, you should. You should take vitamin D3 because the flu season is in the wintertime when we have the lowest level of vitamin D3. It's not only vitamin D3. But of people who take vitamin D3 and get sunshine, then I can help. It can help prevent getting sick. Yes, that's nutrition. Okay, I'm with you, Mark. That's what I do. I take vitamin D3. I've added K2 to that. That was Kermit's idea. Okay, exactly, Lewis. They gave the flu a name, COVID, to make people so scared that even to touch door handles after someone else. They reported on lots of flu sufferers and called it something else. Exactly right. Exactly right. Okay. What is Judel saying about man's body is his? I don't want to say that. But the question is, when is the flu season? We're entering the flu season now. As the sun goes down, as we've got less vitamin D in our body, we're going into the darkest time of the year. And the darkest time, the brightest time is in March, or is it March or June, whatever it is. Can you walk on your hands, Lewis? No, I cannot. Ramp up testing, says Ron Smith, and you have a pandemic. Exactly. And what kind of test is this? This PC, what was the name of the test? What was it called? A PCR test? The guy who invented it says it's not good for like doing this stuff. It's like a computer. It's ridiculous. John Miller is here. Okay. Okay. Now we have tuberculosis and diphtheria rampant thanks to the migrants. That's a lie. That is a lie. That is a lie too. Tuberculosis and diphtheria. It's like we're catching something off of the migrants. That's rubbish. Just be healthy. Be healthy. I mean, I don't like migrants any more than the rest of you guys do. You know that. But they're not spreading diphtheria. They're not spreading tuberculosis. Whatever. It's anything with an osis is an irritation. What causes irritations? Lots of sick people get irritations. Irritations make people sick. We've got to eliminate. I don't even know if I'm explaining this properly, but I don't trust tuberculosis. I don't trust it. I don't trust what they're trying to do with tuberculosis. So why did it affect so many people, Lewis, if it was just business as usual? In 1918, it wasn't business as usual. There was a war on. All those people, all those young people. And also, it's a mass delusion. It's like, why are all those people cutting off their penises and saying that they're trans? Why are they doing that? Because there's a mass delusion going on. Number one, that people are sick. And then they go to a hospital. They're locked into bed and they're not getting enough sunlight because they're locked in bed. So that's what it is. That's what it is. I do think there's such a thing as a flu season. It's just people don't give their bodies the right THEIR, the right nutrition to prevent the illness. Mark Therosian, who agrees with you? I agree with you. We need sun, sleep, low stress, meat. This is what we need. What else do we need? Well, we need the trace vitamins, which we're not getting, but we need quality food. Like I take magnesium, vitamin D, a little bit of K2. I mean, and I go into the sun more. I get sun, and I go into the sunbed. So I'm with you, Mark the Rosian. A few days before lockdown, COVID was downgraded to a medium level infectious disease, which is also a lie because it's not infectious. It's not infectious. It's just that everybody's getting it at the exact same time. Everybody thinks they got a little bit of cough. They cough more. Their throats get irritated. Irritation causes inflammation, causes disease. Okay, this is what it is. When you see, if you want to avoid getting a cold, you should follow what Mark the Rosian says. Number one, and then let's say you have a little bit of a cough. Don't cough. Let's say you feel like you got a little bit of something in the back of your throat. Don't go. Because it breaks the cells, it creates irritation, which creates inflammation, which creates disease, which kills you. Okay, exactly. This is what Claire says. Exactly, Lewis. They gave the flu the name COVID to make people so scared to even right. I read that already. That was brilliant. Paul Manning says, Lou. I don't know if I like being called Lou. Lou. But you can call me Lou. Whatever you want to call me to get my attention, Lou. Lou, Spanish fly has been used for millennium as a sexual stimulant. The chemical is derived from blister beetles and is notable for its vesicant properties. That word I've never used, vesicant. What is a vesicant property? What is a vesicant? Vesicant. A vesicant, I'm looking right now, is a chemical agent, severe blistering in tissue, also known as a blister agent. These agents can cause severe chemical burns. So it makes things irritated. Maybe that's what you need to give you to make you hard. To make you hard. Maybe that's what you need. Anyway. So that's what I say to you. That's what I say to you. Number one, we do not believe, if you're going to watch this show, you've got to say, I do not believe in infectiousness. I don't believe in germs. I believe in bacteria, which can make you sick. But I also believe that you just ground up anything in a human body and it's going to make you sick. Okay, I'm with Mark the Rosian. We've got to be thin. We've got to eat low carbs. We've got to eat red meat. We've got to get the sun. We've got to reduce our stress levels. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about this? And when you see somebody like Boris Johnson talking about, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And if you say, we could have done more to do, no. Just the war was horrible. Why was the war horrible? The war was horrible because, hold on a second. The war was horrible because it weakened those lads. They've been on ships, the ones going to Canada and America. They were on ships for weeks at a time, whatever. Especially the Canadians. The Canadians soldiers were treated so badly. I saw a whole documentary on this, that they were sitting in ports in Wales, just starving, cold, that they had to live in what, I'm not saying Wales is bad anyway. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that. 10 jackdaws pecked my chin, 2 crows scratched my ears, 1 magpie, according to Paul Manning, says 1 magpie pooped on my shoulders, 3 rooks flapped violently at my face, 3 trapeze boofed me to the ground. I went down with COVID-19. Yeah, a case could be made. Yeah, they say, hey, you were sick and it's a COVID. It's like all those people who died of AIDS. It's the exact same thing. It's a lie. And who was the guy who was involved in the AIDS, HIV lie? Same guy as the COVID lie guy. It's all one lie. It's all like you caught something rather than you lived a sickening lifestyle and you never got well and then they gave you AZT, which killed you. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking like this. I could see possibly somebody could think that this is dangerous talk. You've missed the medical section, Carrie. Well, this is the medical section. What do you think about what I'm saying, Joodles? You're a very bright girl. And I'm not saying I'm going to listen to you, but I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thankfully, it will be stored on the forever, Kerry, for later perusal. It will be stored, yeah. Want to get, yeah, the irritation. Ron Smith says irritation from a Brazilian wandering spider can get you whatever, can get you going. You're right, Lewis. Boris Johnson is a fat globalist. Who is he to give us life advice? Exactly. He's a fat and disgusting. You look at the guy. I can't even look at him. I mean, he's got his hair like Fidel Castro had his beard. Core of it is a crow family of birds. I did not know that. You need to explain this thing to me. What I know, Ron Smith. I did not know that. That was Ron Smith's joke where he mentioned all of those birds. All of those birds. And core of it is a crow family. I did not know that. Is that true? Or did you just make that up? It was indeed a quality joke, Paul Manning. Some of us got it. Haha. Very niche and amusing joke. Yeah, it was I didn't get it, but, I do appreciate. Don't you think that I appreciate the jokes that you're telling me and us? Don't you think it makes the time go faster? Maybe it does. Maybe it does. It makes our life go faster. Is this show a diversion? That's what I'm trying to make. I'm not trying to make it a diversion, but I'm trying to think, what value does, I like doing this every single day. That doesn't mean, I like doing it, and I want you to like it. I want you to like it. That's what I'm saying. And as a diversion, I think it's important. I think we're in a war. We're in a war with globalists. We're in a war with the pharmaceutical companies. We're in a war with feminizers who want to masculinize women and feminize men. It's ironic because it's like they're not feminizing themselves anyway. And we're in a war. And what do we do in a war? What can I do? I can just shout. Look at how I'm shouting now about COVID. Is it dangerous? It could be considered dangerous. What I'm saying could be misinformation. I'm saying that AIDS does not exist. And you go, oh my God, I lost 10 friends from AIDS. That's not true, Lewis. COVID really happened. My doctor told me it really happened. And then you look at the hospital. They say, look at how jammed the hospital is. The hospital is jammed. It's all these people. And it's some image of some northern Italian hospital. What a bunch of liars. It's a good way to connect. YouTube has its faults, but it's free and easy, I see you says. Thank you. It's not that easy. It's getting easier every single show. Can you tell? Do the shows seem better? Are we having a better time? We're in war against misinformation, says MC Scott. Yes, we are. Lewis turned Italian-American suddenly. Yeah, could be. Because remember when they said, look what's happening in Italy. Look what's happening in Italy. And, friends of mine sent me images because I was an early disbeliever of the COVID. And I'm looking at these things. I'm saying, oh, my God, is this really happening in Italy? And it was a lie. Do you remember the video from the Italian hospital? Okay. The show is entertaining. What good will come of it? You are making some of us happy. I feel like we know you, Lewis. You are so loved. I appreciate that, Claire. Thank you very much. The BBC did an advert on the radio yesterday about misinformation. I just thought, you guys sound desperate. The BBC are lying to you. They do not represent this country. They represent the globalists in this country. And it's not my business. Someday they're going to knock on my door, even though they said yesterday that they weren't going to come knocking on your door. And they're going to say, Lewis, maybe it's time you left the country. And maybe I don't know. Italian dead bodies was from a few years earlier. Is that right too? Yeah, but even if even if there were dead bodies, look what they did. Look at how, you tell people you're going to die and you die. And that's what happened a lot of times. That's what happens with AIDS. Oh my God, we found that you've got AIDS. Oh my God, I'm going to die. And that it killed people. It's a form of murder. You tell them, instead of saying, don't worry about it, you're good. This AIDS thing is bull. Anyway, if we were all walking around eating meat and eggs, Mark Derosian says, whole foods, we would all be much healthier and the NHS wouldn't be burdened. We are all listening to the big companies who make money out of poor health. Mark Derosian, who is half of an Armenian, I'm with you 100%. I mean, first of all, what did the NHS do that is so necessary? They give tests. Okay, I believe in the tests, and then they, if you break something, they could maybe put you in a cast, or if you've had a burn, maybe you get special units for that. But I think 95% of the NHS could be eliminated. That's what I believe. One of the dead bodies got up in the background of the news reporter. The problem is they lied so much that some people turned into Lewis. Kermit, I appreciate that. No. It's not that they lied so much. They are liars. They didn't say, I don't believe anything because they lied a bit too much. No. They are liars. The NHS people are liars. They want us to panic because then we send them money, which makes them more powerful. Everyone's walking. Let's applaud the NHS. They've done an amazing job. F you, NHS. F you, NHS. Okay. So, no, I disagree with that, Kermit. Everyone dies, Maltese Phil says. No, everyone doesn't. They do die. But when you're told by your doctor you're going to die, you've got 3 months to live, you've got a much higher chance of it happening. But the BBC are major misinformers. Yes. They're globalists. They believe in scaring people, and they believe that they need more money. They want to have respect. And the NHS got such respect. Remember, every once a week you used to applaud the NHS. Kerry Macca, hey Kerry, says a woman I know had cancer and she went for treatment. It apparently went away. She then got a checkup and it was back, so more treatment. And then she was told it was shrinking. Now she's terminal. Yeah. Well, cancer, that's one of those bullshit diseases. I mean, it is real. But how can you eliminate cancer? You stop eating carbs. That's how it's basically what causes cancer. It's irritation of the mitochondria, which causes the cells to divide, thinking that it's about to die. So it does that. So if you want to get rid of your cancer. Anyway, so what are we doing? Yeah, I mean, the major treatments that cancer has, which is surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. Stay away. Laugh out loud. That's exactly what happened, Lewis. They lied a bit too much, and now you don't believe anything. Well, what do you mean by that? No, I discovered that they're lying. With Kate and Jerry McCann. You discover the lies, and you don't believe anything. Okay? And so when something is true, it can be proven. When it's not true, like the NHS, you go, well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to believe you anymore. I never clapped like a monkey or bang pots. Claire, nobody likes when you brag like this. Panza, all the neighbors did. It was utterly cringeworthy. You cringed, I agree. Feeding the cat. Did I hear correctly? Isn't he half an Armenian? Isn't he half an Armenian, Joodles? Well. Look who decided to grace us with her presence. The lovely, lovely Leanne. That's so nice. I was just thinking about Leanne today. Leanne is here. A round of applause for Leanne. Hey, Kermit. Good to see you. How are you feeling, Leanne? Tell us how you're feeling. I'm frying up 4 eggs and a bit of cheese, Jim Johnson. Always feel better when I go strict. Yeah, like 4 eggs. Go more eggs. Like I had 5 eggs this morning, and that's low for me. The point being, she just had treatments and it still hasn't worked. So she's just living her life the way she wants. Yes, I'm going to tell you something. You don't have to live the life the way you want. You've got to eliminate the toxicity from your diet. You've got to eliminate the food that's feeding the cancer, and that's sugar. And what is sugar? Sugar are carbs. What is a carb? A carb is chains of sugar. Sugar, sugar, sugar. So that's what low carb means. That's what low carb means. The lies are the same as the original lie of Project Fear. People need to learn. Yeah, I'm against the liars. I'm calling them liars. YouTube changed our names to our handles. Laugh out loud. I'm Blackadder. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you do that. You haven't been here for a couple of days, but we're really glad to see you. Leanne, I am glad to see you. Gnome Hunter, that's so sad. Hopefully she gets over this. Yes, the way you get over cancer, and everybody's got growths and stuff. I used to have growths. I used to have a sebaceous cyst over there that had to be cut out because I was on a high carb diabetic diet. I have a bump. Where's my bump? Where's my bump? I have a little bump right there. It's not gotten any bigger. But this is what happens when you eat carbs. You ladies, if you care about having cysts and growths and tags coming out of you, then you've got to stop eating carbs. Mark the Rosine is still the same. That's all you need to know. Yes. They do a lovely cheese omelet with a pot of tea in Abergavenny. Famous market there. Lovely cheese omelet with a pot of tea. That sounds really nice in the market in Abergavenny. Go into a little cafe and sit down and eat it. Wow, that's really nice. And it's maybe a bit rainy in Abergavenny. So you got to go indoors. I love that. Who doesn't love that? Please, God. Not the SC words, puke. What is the SC words? I don't know what you're talking about. I've got piles, out and proud. Well, I don't know. I don't know what causes piles, but you know what it is? What causes constipation? Carbs. Lower your carbs. Google carbs, diabetes, constipation. Carbs. They did a study. Hey, mate, hope you're well. Who are you talking to? Leanne? Good to see you, Leanne. They have an award-winning butcher's in Abergavenny. Deviled Scottish eggs with chili. That sounds good, too. I don't like to eat chili because it makes my bottom itch. Does it not? Does it make your bottom itch? I think it makes my bottom itch. It makes your bottom itch. This is all good stuff. She is one of the high-flying people who never get sad somehow. But thanks, we constantly live in that thing's shadow. Maybe there's a apostrophe until the annual tests are done. Well, you can, like me, I'm lecturing you people. But last night I went out and I had 2 ice creams. I need to be less ice creamy. Lud's a spicy guy. It doesn't bother your bottom. I mean, spicy food bothers my bottom. And it's kind of like fake savory food. That's why we eat it. Remind us that we're maybe possibly eating meat. Certainly, you never know. Everything has just come crashing down, unfortunately. This is what Gnome says. You may not believe this, Lewis, says Kermit, but I know a man who was very ill with cancer, and in a course of high concentrations of THC and CBD, he got a piece of remission and is very well today. Yeah, well, because you, Kermit, you believe in medicine. You believe, and THC is a natural medicine, let's say. I don't believe in medicine. I don't believe in it. I do not believe in it. So, I mean, maybe it was just, what do they call that? Coincidental. It was a coinky dink. Leanne is talking to me. Hello, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Leanne. 2 ice creams. Good now. Good to know. Not much has changed. No. I've been bad. I've been bad. I have 1 ice cream. I walk next to the other shop. I walk in the other shop. I have another ice cream. I went out walking. I've got to be stronger. You got to be stronger. You got to be this. You got to be that. You got to be together. Kerry Mack, Kermit, I have heard of them CBD oils and how they can help cure and revive people's symptoms as people who take seizures, such as people who have seizures take seizures. I don't believe it. It's like throughout history, there's always been a magic pill that's going to break through your entire body and go directly to the problem. And I don't believe that. I think the only thing, I'm with Mark Therosian, is that you got to eat healthy food, high meat food. You got to get out in the sun. You've got to reduce your stress. You got to exercise slightly. Paul Manning says he's got piles too, and the only structural and architectural solution to making sure my cliff edge mansions don't succumb to the ever-shifting ground conditions. That's a joke. Okay. Vindaloo burns on the way in and burns on the way out. Yeah. Yeah, it's not necessary. Spicy food is not necessary. I don't even put pepper on anything anymore. Cannabis is a herb. Well, so what? So what? It's got something in it. It's a pesticide. Isn't THC, isn't CBD pesticides to keep insects from chewing on the leaves? That's what it is. It's like caffeine. It affects humans, but that doesn't mean it affects us in a way. If we're sick, it makes us, cures us. I don't know. I can cure the 2 elderly ladies, 90-year-old twins, the same thing. Now in remission after using high-strength cannabis oils. Well, do you know where that comes from? Because they told us that cannabis was so bad for us, and now we're going out of our way to say that it's good. That's what Andrew Rubin says. I don't believe in that. Anyway, Ian Hayes is there. Let's wave hello to Ian. Let's wave. Julian says rubbish, Lewis. Okay, maybe what you believe is rubbish. I don't know. I'm assuming you're thinking what I'm saying is rubbish. Because I called it herbs. What did I say? Herbs or herbs? Herbs. Joodles. Congratulations on pronouncing that H. Okay, I'm trying to communicate with you people. You people. I love you, Joodles. You had hash once, gave me nasty dreams. Well, I remember back in the day, in America, people didn't even have hash. You know, it was like a special thing. And then you come to Britain and there's tons of it. I mean, it's probably not a bad thing, hash or CBD or any of that stuff, but it's not going to cure you. I don't believe that. Anyway, so Kerry Mack is talking to Hi-Ho Kermit, and I would talk to him too because he's really knowledgeable. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing, period, Kerry Mack, a punctuation, period. Capital I, apostrophe V-E, read about people using it and people not needing their pills anymore, period. But then again, capital B, you can't believe all you read. No, because it's people who want to believe that pot is amazing. Because we've been told that pot is really bad for you. And it's not really bad, but it's not amazing. I don't think it is. But if it can make you feel all right. Piles are caused by increased pressure on the veins in and around the anus, says Malteseville, due to straining during bowel movements, chronic constipation or diarrhea, low fiber diet, sitting on the toilet too much, or high fiber diet. Look, what does fiber do? It fills up your colon and makes it thicker. So it makes it harder to whatchamacallit. So So you can look it up. Let me see if I can find that thing, which is carbs and diarrhea. Carbs and constipation. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can find it. There's the guy who did it. I forget what the guy's name is, but he was an Australian doctor diet. I forget what his name was, but because I haven't watched any. Paul Mason, diet doctor. Here's the thing. Oh, it's just written up. The prevalence of constipation in the low. Okay. Let me see if I can find this thing. Let me see if I can find it. I'm looking here. Paul Mason. Look for Dr. Paul Mason on Google. Maybe he's not here. He's not here. Let me see here. I'm going to check here. And I'll put up this video here. Paul Mason, constipation. He's great. This guy was great. I haven't watched a video that he's done in a very long time. 7 years ago. From far. How did he say here? Did he say here? Paul Mason. Fiber does not cause constipation. Research finds fiber does not improve digestion. Maybe here we go. Should we listen? How do we listen to this here?
The evidence on fiber intake, and what I found was that the evidence is totally at odds with what our common beliefs are, conventional wisdom or guidelines.
Can you hear this?
That fiber is necessary for good gut health and that it's the best and most optimal treatment for constipation is not borne out when we actually look at the literature. If you eat something that is not able to be digested by your body or absorbed in the intestines, then it ends up transiting right down to the distal colon where all the bugs that form the microbiome live. And those bacteria will then ferment a particular food source, and in the process they'll produce gas. So fiber is a non-digestible carbohydrate. So when we eat it, it doesn't get absorbed across our intestines, it transits all the way through, and when it gets fermented by the bacteria, we produce gas and we produce bloating. And there's been an awful amount of literature that has shown that increased levels of fiber in...
Okay. I don't know how this works. Can you see this? Can you see this? Can you see this? I'm not saying this is a doctor from Australia. We'll have to look at this later. I'll make a copy of it right now. I'm going to make a copy of it right now. How about that? Making a copy of it right now. And I take the copy and I go over here. I'm doing everything today. Today's an amazing show. This is one of the best shows. You got best shows we've ever done. I think it's the best show. Yeah, this has to do with carbohydrates, carbs, fiber, which is only in carbs, okay, and constipation and digestion, digestion. How about that? Okay, so there we go. Let's get back on track. All right, let me just read this. This is. Let me just make sure. I've jumped ahead. Okay. There was a medical journal in the 1940s blacklisted by the Medical Association because the healer cured breast cancer with 500 milligrams per day of vitamin C. Big Pharma didn't want it published. I don't know what we're doing. Let me just say this. According to Andrew Rubin, Lewis Schaffer is not a medical professional and uses NHS surveys to bolster his opinions, even though he doesn't believe in them. That's not an NHS survey. What do you mean survey? But I'm not a medical doctor, so do not believe what I have to say. And I'm a comedian, or trying to be a comedian. And so everything that I say should be looked at for comedic purposes only. So do not listen to me. And if you die because you've listened to me, then that's your business. It's not my business. I've said something as a joke, perhaps, or maybe even if I'm serious. You can't accept it, but I think I'm right. When I was a teenager, Paul Manning said, we used to all hang out at my school chum's bedroom, and some of the smokers would flick the deposit of their doobies in a potted plant. Months later, a huge marijuana plant grew. Yeah, the seed could have gotten there. Why not? Why not? That's how it's a plant. It grows in dirt. It grows in potted plants. Are we going to talk about that? I told the doctor every time I bend down to see Mickey Mouse, yet every time I stand up, I see Donald Duck. So, here's a joke, Ian Haig says. So, he said, how long have you been having these Disney spells? Disney spells. That's funny. Remember that fiber is only important if you are consuming sugar. Yeah, maybe fiber comes with sugar. So, it's probably important. It's probably important. If we die because of your facts, we shall come back and haunt you. Yeah, come back and haunt me. Come back. That's the Jedster. Thank you. That's the Schaffer disclaimer. I've got it. Yeah. I mean, should I believe anything that you guys say? Why should you believe anything that I say? Thank you very much. I just got a lovely message saying nice things to me. The truth is, here is the truth. The truth is that I know what I'm talking about? Maybe. I know maybe more. I've watched thousands and thousands of hours of these YouTube videos, but we need to know. Maybe my belief system is better, because my belief system is that the people who we have respect for have lied to us so much, and they're probably lying to us now. Basically, only psychopaths use light mode. What is a light mode? That light mode is killing me. What is the light? Hold on a second. Hold on. I'll get rid of it. Is this the light mode? Is this the light mode? Is that better? Stay away from the light, Carol. And was Carol Ann? Mark is correct. Fiber tones down the sugary spikes somewhat, but why consume carbs at all, says Jim Johnson. Yeah, why consume them at all? Totally not necessary. Although sometimes when you're walking around late at night and you want a cornetto, or you want a Magnum, or you want an Oreo sandwich, do you not? You do, Jim Johnson. Nothing you can do. You got to have it. I'm going to try to. I woke up today. I weighed 78.5 kilograms. That's too much. Maybe the rest of the day I'll try to fast. I'll try. I'm not a good faster. Ian Higgs mentions Ken Dodd. What about Ken Dodd? God, I've missed you all. It's like I've never been away. Poo on my been away, period. Poo on my return, period. Just need the wee and the bedpans now. All right, that's not a pleasant thought, but let's all pray for you, Leanne. Let's all pray. You could, Gnome Hunter, writing without punctuation. They certainly would, period. but I have a feeling prolonging the lives of their customers, they could profit by selling them other rubbish like paracetamol and other trivial cures. Yeah, paracetamol does, I think, work, but it just kills the body, doesn't it? It kills the body. I mean, I don't think if you've got a disease, go with the food first. Go with the sun first. Go with reducing stress first. Go with loving Lewis Schaffer. That's a cure right there. Before you take 10,000 units of vitamin C, which could possibly be bad for you. Go with the sun. Let's follow the sun. That's a Beatles song. Let's follow the sun. Kerry Mack is talking about a real cure for cancer. Yeah, they probably would, but I mean, I don't know if they're thinking about it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the cure is. I think with cancer, and I think about cancer all the time. I'm in my cancer years. I'm 68 years old. And I know they always say the association between people who are fat and cancer. The association. Well, why do people who are fat, why do they have cancer? Because they eat too much sugar. They've got too much extra food, which causes cells to divide. If you don't have the extra food, the cells won't divide. They will not divide. So that's what we're going to do, is we're not going to do that. Lewis, our characters are limited. I'm fully literate, yet I'm restricted by YouTube. Okay. Well, why don't you write it out twice? Lewis, our characters are limited, period. Thank you. I am fully literate, comma, yet I am, with an whatchamacallit, by YouTube. You can still put in the things there. Something about flashes on GB News. Anyone notice how they flash in between takes? Enough to give you archive. Is that a joke? Something about flashes on GB News. Thanks. You have much to learn, Grasshopper. You may have to look that one up as well, Blackadder. I don't know. What is loving Lewis Schaffer cure exactly? Well, you have to love me in order to believe my crazy talk about food. Do you not? So you have to love me. Because if you didn't love me, would you follow what I'm saying? Of course you wouldn't follow, Joodles, what I'm saying. So you have to love me. Of course, they don't want a plant that anyone could grow interfering with that profit margin. Let it be said, Kermit, that you believe in CBD. I like it too. I'm not against CBD or THC or any of that stuff, but it's not a cure-all. It is not a cure-all. Why are people getting cancer? Because of a shortage of THC? No. You're in Sniper's Alley. Lewis, as we are all over a certain age. What does that mean? You're, Y-O-U, apostrophe R-E. You're in Sniper's Alley. Could it be sniper with an apostrophe? A sniper's alley? I don't know what that means, Lewis. Not getting into the health thing, but thin people get cancer too. Yes, they do get cancer. They do get cancer. But they still have too much carbs. I mean, they get cancer from smoking cigarettes, say, because smoking cigarettes causes irritation, which causes inflammation, which causes disease. But cancer needs to be fed with sugar, according to Dr. Thomas Seyfried, who I am a follower, arc welder. Thank you, Joe, for pointing that out, but that's what it is. Someone joked once when mowing the lawn with my gleaming white skin, getting arc eye. Someone joked once when mowing the lawn with my gleaming white skin. Can we put some punctuation in there, Ron Smith? Punctuation, everybody. We're really let down. I haven't been focusing on it lately. I've let you get away with it, and now look at it. Now look what's happened to the stream. You can't even read the stream. So they work hard in hand, in my case and others. Insecticides and pesticides are causing all the cancers, Ruben. No, but they can. They can. But just remember that plants are incredibly high in pesticides. Most plants are ridden with pesticides. They've got oxalates, lectins. They've got THC, which is a pesticide. They've got caffeine is a pesticide, and they might cause cancer. Being thin is a good advantage, but you can still get many diseases. Can still. Being thin is an advantage. Be thin and you'll be healthier. And eventually people eventually do die. Yes. You have Lewis because you used to call, yes, you have Lewis. Call me out of my punctuation all the time when I first started watching. Yeah. Yes, you have Lewis, period. Capital because you need punctuation right there, Kerry Macca. Maybe Google that, maybe punctuate that better. As part of my agreement with the medical cannabis clinic, says MC Scott, I have to keep up my NHS meds too. Well, yeah, that's what the problem is with these tests. They tell you, they make you do the standard tests, which kill you. And then they say, okay, you can do your tests too, but make sure you take the standard protocol, whatever that's called. Okay. Lewis, says Joe Sanders, I've mentioned this before, period. My dad died at 62, period, dash, maybe, out of the blue, period. He wasn't he was not overweight and didn't smoke. I believe it can be a genetic or maybe bad luck of the draw, possibly, but I think you should try for health reasons. Your father was a very hard worker from that generation. And he was probably put under a lot of stress, and he probably didn't get a lot of sun. Who knows what the story is? So I'm sad that your dad died. Nicotinic sprays used on our crops since the 60s are the biggest contributors. Yeah, nicotine. But you're recommending maybe smoking. Yeah, it's not good. We've been poisoned, but the food itself, the actual green leaf is toxic. The actual broccoli is toxic. It's all toxic. Welding is when you melt metal into liquid to patch a hole or join two pieces together. Welding. What is that all about, Ron Smith? I don't know what that's about. Ruben says. So that's that. So it's now 25 minutes after. We're ending our show. I think this has been one of the better shows. Would you say it's been one of the better shows? I think it has been. I think it's been pretty good. Only what we need to do is, we've had a lot of people watching. Only what we need to do is, okay? And so let's all go over to like it, to put the thumbs up. Can we stop what we're doing? Oh, arc eye is from an arc welder. I mean, that's that bright light from that. Okay? Thank you very much. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to like this thing, and that's really important. We're going to make sure that we press the alarm, the alerts, this to subscribe. So I can send you something like that. Now Kermit comes in and he's so helpful. He says, buy the stream of coffee. Hit KOFI. Hit the coffee thing. Do you have to like it? Of course you don't have to like it. But it makes me happy, the Rosian. It makes me happy. Then go on to Twitter. Can you see the Twitter over here? Let's go on to Twitter. Here's Twitter. Go on to Twitter, Lewis Schaffer at Twitter, and make sure you're on whatchamacallit. You're on X. Also, then you can go up to PayPal. Kermit, brilliant. Just pay PayPal. Lewis Schaffer. I don't know if you can't reach PayPal. Just Google paypal.com/ or paypal.me. Paypal.me. I think that's what it really is. I'm not sure that that's the right one, Kermit. We should basically check that. Let me just see if I can check that. PayPal. PayPal. Maybe this is what the right one is. Whoops. Maybe this is the right one. Let's just see if this is the right one. Can you see this one here? Hold on. Here we go. I think this could be the right one here for PayPal. It just makes things easier. I mean, tonight at 10:30, come back at 10:30. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be as good. Have a beautiful day, Ian Haig says. What a beautiful day for sticking a cucumber through someone's letterbox and shouting, help, help. The Martians have landed. Okay. Phenomenal show. It's been a good show. 90 minutes of entertainment. I don't know whether, I hope it's entertaining. It's been entertaining for me. So we had Leanne come in. I want to thank you. We had Joodles, beautiful, beautiful Joodles, and beautiful, beautiful Leanne and Julian. Ron Smith was really involved, which I appreciate. Kermit disagreeing with me, but I thought I handled it well. Blackadder, as we call him, Gnome Hunter. Andrew Rubin. Joe Sanders, fantastic Joe. MC Scott talking about the pot. It means a lot to people. I didn't come across as being anti-pot, but I don't think anyone drugs. You're just playing into their hands of the medical establishment. There's one little pill that'll cure everything or will cure something, and I don't believe that. Julian, thank you for coming in. Jedster, always great to see you here. Kerry Macca. Lots of great people here today. Over 35. We had a problem with the beginning of the show. I apologize for that. I pressed the wrong button. But that's what happens to Lewis Schaffer in these shows. Ludd was here. Always great to see him. Great to see Ludd. We discussed cancer. Not great, Ludd. Not great, but that's what we're doing. We're discussing. Oh, you don't discuss it. Go low carbs. If you got cancer, go low carbs. Even fasting. This is what Dr. Thomas Seyfried says. Okay? And I think that's the right approach. He didn't start out by being a low-carb guy, but this is what he believes. I see you. It's always good to see her. It's good to see her. Paul Manning. Fantastic. I love Paul Manning. Dame Claire. I don't know if she's here, but Dame Claire. Always good to see Dame Claire here. And Maltese Phil, and Mark Therosian, and Jim Johnson. Have I forgotten to state anybody's name? Because you're all so important to me. You are important to me. To me. If there's anything you disagree with, come in at 10:30 and tell me, Lewis, I think what you're doing is harmful by telling people not to trust, by telling people that the people that we've grown up giving our money to, like the BBC or the NHS or the government, have been lying to us. Maybe you could say that. Maybe you could say, maybe you should go home. Maybe you don't belong in whatever. Ian Higgs is here. Maybe you should say that. Okay. This morning, the BBC sent the car for me. Luckily, it missed. That's what Ken Dodd. That's a joke. Lucy. Was Lucy here today? I don't even know if she was here. But I love Lucy, of course. And I think that's pretty much everybody. Let me see if I've forgotten anybody. Cheers. Let's all say goodbye to everybody. Let's all see each other at 10:30 tonight. I'm going to be here by myself. Well, maybe my other son will be here, but the producer will not be here because he's working. He's working late tonight, and I do appreciate you being a part of my life. That's all I can say. Make sure we like the stream. We go to Twitter. Make sure we go to PayPal or Patreon. The easiest way is Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/Lewis Schaffer. And then we're brilliant. This has been the best show. Tell your friends. I'll see you tonight. Okay.